All right, great Tuesday morning to you. This is Chief Meteorologist Steve Beylon in the First Alert Weather Center. How are you doing today? It is a little bit of a frosty start for some of you, especially to the north and west of the Fox Valley, but that frost is fading away pretty quickly. In fact, our frost advisory isn't going to last too much longer. That frost advisory from the National Weather Service expires at 9 o'clock, so about 25 minutes from now. It covers southern Marinette County, southern Oconto County, and then west into the Menominee, Shawano County, and back across central Wisconsin. So we've been, giving folks a first alert each day that if you've got cold-sensitive plants, like a lot of the plants in your garden, you need to cover them up if you want them to stay alive, or if it's possible to bring them inside from the cold, then that's great too. We've also had some frost across far northern Wisconsin, up towards the Highway 8 corridor, but you'll notice that there's no advisory issued there. Well, that's because the growing season has officially come to an end closer to the Menominee River, so no need for an advisory. We're hitting that point in the year where, keeping these tender plants alive is more and more of a challenge as the growing season gets ready to wrap up. So here's a temperature check. We're at 31 degrees in Anago. They were in the 20s this morning. We're at 33 in Rhinelander. Farther south and east, we've got 40s on the board. 42 in Green Bay, 45 in Appleton. It is almost 50 degrees in Sheboygan. You're at 49. We'll see 50s and then 60s. Excuse me, 66 for a high temperature today in Green Bay. There's a couple high, thin clouds out there, but otherwise we'll see plenty of sunshine. It's going to be a mostly sunny Tuesday. And it is going to be mild and dry, just like it has been recently. And unfortunately, this dry weather is keeping our fire danger elevated across northeast Wisconsin. The Wisconsin DNR, they issue a fire danger forecast, and this is the latest map. And you can see a good chunk of northern and central Wisconsin is high. There's a couple spots in the very high category, including Oconto County and Marinette County. Now, I'll keep an eye on the latest information from the DNR because they tend to not update the whole map at once. They tend to update it in chunks, county by county. And so it's quite possible this outlook could change between now and the next couple hours. And if so, we'll update that in First Alert News in our newscasts and also online as well. So here's a look at First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. And this is a look at some of the fire weather ingredients. Now, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that there's less wind today. Now, the wind is an issue when it's blowing because it tends to take the fire and spread it. So with less wind, that's good news. Unfortunately, the air is still very dry, especially this afternoon when that relative humidity drops down to around 35%. So dry air and, of course, the dry ground. We've got dry soil because of the lack of rainfall. That obviously is keeping that fire danger elevated. It probably will remain in the high category for much of the area, so we encourage people to avoid any outdoor burning. Meanwhile, it's going to be a mild and mostly sunny day. Our high temperatures this afternoon should get into the low and mid 60s. A high of 66 today in Oshkosh, high of 65 today in Manitowoc. And then our low temperatures tonight, about as cold as they were the past couple nights, especially north and west. Your lows will be getting down into the lower half of the 30s. And that's where more patchy frost will be developing, especially we see that purple color there on First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. So by now, if you've been trying to keep your plants alive, you know the drill. Just cover them up or bring them inside. Tonight's another night where that's a possibility. All right, so let's talk about our next weather maker, which really honestly is our current weather maker. The drought is going to continue across northeast Wisconsin. We're going to have some more issues of fire danger. This will continue through the rest of the week. Here's the drought monitor. From Green Bay and northeast, we have moderate to severe drought conditions. Some of the worst drought in our viewing area is in Door County and right up along the upper Michigan border. And unfortunately, I love to tell you there's rain in the forecast, but it looks dry. Hurricane Milton, which we'll talk about in just a moment, that's aiming towards Florida, and that's really kind of clogged up the jet stream across a good chunk of the country. Meanwhile, the primary jet, what we call the polar jet, has been kind of working its way through Canada and diving down into New England, and that's where there's a chance of some showers over the next couple of days. But from Wisconsin out into the Midwest and the Great Plains, it is going to stay dry, and there really isn't much rain at all in the forecast the next several days. I guess you could say there's a 10% chance of some sprinkles or a shower on Friday or Saturday. But as a cold front drops through the area Friday night and then slows down across the southern Great Lakes, and a little impulse of low pressure goes over top of it, there might be some showers on Sunday, especially Sunday morning. Even then, that rain chance, it does not look impressive to me. It's around 30%. So here's your first alert, Super 7-day forecast with a lot of dry weather ahead. The next couple of nights, a few bouts of frost are possible to the north and west. We'll see a high of 66 today, 64 for tomorrow. Very close to 70 as we go into Thursday, and then we warm all the way back up to 80 degrees on Friday. And not only is it going to be warm, but it is going to be breezy. And with those gusty southwest winds and the very dry conditions, our fire danger is going to get worse. It may be very high to possibly extreme across the area, so that bears a lot of watching as we go into the end of this week. Now, you'll notice after that 80, it cools down quite a bit as we go into that weekend forecast. That's where I was telling you about that front dropping south. You know what? I don't know about you, but I'm an owner of some window air conditioning units, and I've been trying to keep them up just in case over the past few weeks, even though we're in autumn. You know, we get sometimes some warmer weather in the afternoons. And I'm thinking that this is the weekend where I got to remove those and put those away. So I think this weekend ahead is the weekend to remove those window air conditioning units. If you need to switch up your wardrobe and start putting some of those short sleeve shirts into storage and bring out the long sleeves, I would do so, because not only does it cool down early next week, but I think the highs in the 50s and 60s will stick for much of next week. So that 80 there on Friday might be that last hurrah from summer, so to speak. It's amazing. We've had so many warm Friday evenings during the high school football season, and I think this Friday will be no exception. With some clouds overhead, temperatures will be a little sluggish to drop down through the 60s, but despite the clouds, it's probably going to be dry. I'll be curious to see what our Operation Football Game of the Week is, but regardless of what it is, we'll let you know. And all the games across the area, you should see partly to mostly cloudy skies. And again, it is probably going to stay dry. There is a chance of a couple showers during the Packer game. Packers versus the Cardinals, Sunday at noon, Lambeau Field. A cooler, more autumn-like day. Kickoff at noon, 54 degrees with breezy northwest winds. And there is a 30% chance of some light rain. Otherwise, skies will be mostly cloudy. So there's your first alert, Super 7-day forecast, which is looking mostly dry. There might be some showers on Sunday, and I can't rule out a pop-up shower on Monday during the afternoon, but otherwise, I wish there was more rain. Maybe not quite as much rain as what Hurricane Milton is going to do along the Florida western shoreline. Look at it right now. This is our enhanced satellite. And you could really, if you look at it closely, when we enhance the different colors there, you can really see the power of Milton just churning along the Yucatan Peninsula coast. Milton yesterday got as strong as a Category 5 hurricane with winds up to, the sustained winds up to 180 miles an hour. It's amazing how quickly it went from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane. And the reason why is because the Gulf of Mexico water is so warm. I mean, water temperatures in the 80s and maybe even some 90s, and that just causes Milton to just boom, explode. You know, I can't show it to you here with this, but you know, if you look at some of the really close-up views of Milton's eye, you can see these ripples that come out of the eye. And these are what we call gravity waves that come out. There are these disturbances that are just blossoming out of all the rising air that causes these thunderstorms to blossom along the eye wall of Milton. And it's really just incredible to watch. This is good. Got all the hallmarks of what is going to be a life-threatening hurricane. Right now, it is a Category 4 hurricane, maximum sustained winds of 145 miles an hour. It is moving to the east-northeast at 12 miles an hour, and, well, Milton is going to get blown to the northeast because of the upper-level winds. Now, they don't normally blow from southwest to northeast, but that's the weather pattern that we're in right now. And so that is why Milton is going to track northeast towards central Florida. Now, a couple things with the track that we've noticed. Compared to how it looked a day or two ago, it looks like it's heading towards central Florida a little slower. We were thinking initially this would be a landfall near Tampa Wednesday morning, but now it looks like very, very late Wednesday night into daybreak Thursday. In the pre-dawn hours of your Thursday, it's going to make landfall somewhere there, perhaps as a Category 3 hurricane. So you're looking at winds up around 125 miles an hour. Those are maximum sustained winds. This could bring a foot of rain to that area. The storm surge, the water pushing off of the Gulf of Mexico onshore could be as high as 15 feet. So we've noticed that Milton's track has slowed down, and it seems like while Tampa is still under the gun, the eye of Milton may be a little further south, heading more towards Sarasota. Not that that's going to improve things drastically for Tampa, but really that whole area, Tampa, Sarasota, inland into Orlando, it's unfortunately, it's going to be devastation. And that's why people are evacuating in droves going north, trying to get up north on 75 and 95 into Georgia. I'm happy to hear they've opened up an extra lane of traffic for northbound travelers, and they've also suspended the tolls. So that is some good news. All right, well, that is our First Alerts live stream, and giving you a little bit of our weather and a little bit of some Florida weather. And in regards to Hurricane Milton, we will continue to track Milton and give you updates during our newscasts all the way through Thursday. And I would expect that we're going to give you some content on air and also online. So make sure you're using our free WBAY First Alert weather app and also checking out our website. All right, thanks for watching our First Alert live stream. Action 2 News Mid-Morning is about to start in about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll check out some of the top news stories across the area, and I'll give you a little bit more weather. Otherwise, I hope you are having a good start to your Tuesday and have a wonderful day ahead. Enjoy the sunshine, but please pray for some rain, because we really, really need it.